It's an interesting debate, really, because we do talk about Harry Kane and say, does he need to leave Tottenham now? Because he hasn't yet won a trophy. Does he need to leave the club to finally lift some sort of silverware? And yet, there's Alan Shearer actually saying, when you start to look back on someone's career, it's not necessarily about the trophies they've won, especially as a striker. It's actually about what they achieved personally. Where would it hold for you? What was more important to you? Is it scoring goals, potentially breaking records, or winning trophies?
Well, look, I'm never going to say it's nothing but fantastic scoring goals, and these guys' numbers are extraordinary. I'm not quite in agreement with Alan Shearer saying, winning things. Well, he only, won the Premier League once. Mm-hmm. Now, for Alan Shearer, that is a really bad return. He was the best striker of his generation, without a doubt, of getting goals, leading the line. He was as good as there's been, really a top dollar centre forward, Alan was. But only to win one. And I get the boy club, hero that he wanted to be, and I get all this. But he should have 5, 6, 7 Premier League titles, Alan Shearer. Okay? And goal records. Because if you go to these clubs, you'll probably add to your goal record. So mine would be the same. If Harry Kane finishes his career with nothing on his CV of winning anything, I've got a better CV than him. I've won more. And that sounds ridiculous because he's done 20 times more than I have ever did. But I've won, a championship, and I've been in France and won out there. But Harry Kane has to win things. That's the whole point. His goal record is lovely. It's fantastic. Of watching him get 40 goals for club and country last year, get 20 already this season. Harry's a goal machine. But if you do go somewhere else, you go and win things, you still get your goal tally. You're still going to add to your goal scoring.
Yeah.
So Harry's too good. And look, if Tottenham could deliver, and I would go, look, tomorrow, if you believe Tottenham are going to be successful, Harry, and you really felt that, and the club could prove me right, and everybody at Spurs, all their fans, that you can win things, then great, stay. But I can't see that. I think Harry hasn't got the time. He's 30 in the summer. So he hasn't got time. He needs to win trophies pretty quickly. Okay? And I don't see that being the case for Harry at the moment at Spurs.
And you can't see Spurs winning anything at the moment either.
Well, of course they could win an FA Cup, or of course they could. It's like not an impossible thing, but the Premier League. I've played with a number of players who have won like 5 and 6, 7 Premier Leagues. I've played with Ronnie Whelan, did it with Liverpool numerous times. I've played with Keane and Dennis Irwin. Teddy's won things at Man United. And I just feel that Harry's that good. He has to be not only in Champions League football every year, but he has to be playing to win titles. Because he's that good. He's the best striker, certainly the English striker around. He's the best one. And you're not winning anything. And yes, personal accolades, Jimmy Greaves, they're all amazing achievements. And Harry's a terrific player. But have a CV of winning things as well.
But of course, Jimmy Greaves did win things.
Yeah, exactly.
To be fair.
And some would argue, but Jimmy played less games than you to get the amount of goals you've got. And that's a really, being quite flippant. It's what people say. I think Alan Shearer winning only the Premier League as a trophy, like a league, is a dismal return for him.
And only one time, like you say. And if you look at the all-time goal-scoring list when it comes to the Premier League, it is Alan Shearer that leads the way with 260. Then you've got Wayne Rooney, followed by Harry Kane, Andy Cole, Sergio Aguero, Frank Lampard, Thierry Henry. That's the top 7, for example, all who have won other titles bar Harry Kane. He is the only one that won't have, as things stand, hasn't won anything in his career. And in a way, that will be a sad way when his career comes to an end, if he doesn't win anything. Well, I can see what you're saying.
Do you remember watching The Last Dance in the basketball with Michael Jordan? He hasn't won anything with the Chicago Bulls.
Yeah.
And then they change the whole style, and suddenly they create a team and they go and win. He ends up winning 6 NBAs. You say to Michael Jordan, who would you have been if you hadn't won them 6 NBAs? Mm-hmm. He was an unbelievable player. Everybody wanted him. He was the top basketball player of his time. Yeah. Harry Kane's one of the best football players of his time, and yet he hasn't got a Premier League title. Sorry, for me, He should have at least 2 or 3 by now.
So does that mean for him to do that, he have to leave Spurs?
Yeah, I don't think he can achieve it at Spurs. I don't see Spurs, unless they change the direction of the football club and they become incredibly ambitious and bring in a lot of exciting players to convince Harry to stay and create a really good team. That feels a long way away to me. Too far. And it's not enough time for Harry to say, OK, I'm 22, 23, but maybe if I get to 25 and we haven't got a side that I think's not very competitive, then I'll look to go elsewhere. I think Harry's too good not to win things.
Yeah, and like you say, he could end up being the all-time Premier League top goal scorer, but he can do that at another club and maybe win a trophy
and keep
as well.
Getting goals and keep adding to his goal
He's
tally.
61 off Alan Shearer's current record. I'm sure he'll be looking at that as something that he would love to surpass, certainly. And he has equalled Jimmy Greaves' record. We did see last weekend in the papers he's been linked with Manchester United. We will see what happens with that one.